and is approved valuer in machinery and amplifier, plant mechanical engineer, and chartered engineer. He is holding 5 Indian Patent Journal of Publication, which includes improvement of trivial and secure IoT device management and eliminating security issues in IoT using blockchain. He mentored more than 75 faculty development program in outcome-based education. He is a receptionist of ABJ Abdul Kalam Technology University OBE fundings, and he participated in peace engineering program in 2008 at New Mexico, United States of America. He is an active member in American Society for Engineering Education and academic auditor of ABJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Kerala. He has a research interest in renewable solar energy resources, autonomous vehicles, and engineering education in addition to the emerging technologies of IoT and blockchain. He acquired International Certified Career Coach Level 1 certification from Career Development Alliance. He is serving as a National Executive Council member for Indian Society for Technical Education, and he is nominated by AICTE India to serve as a Margdarsh mentor to engineering colleges to streamline the SOP to acquire MBA. He was selected as a program evaluator candidate of accreditation of Board of Engineering and Technology, United States. So we are very happy to be associated with you, sir. And without wasting much of your time, we are handing over the session to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopal sir. Thank you. Friends, I must say that what Gopal sir has said so far about Professor Muruganandam is just only the tip of an iceberg. We are indeed happy to have you here, sir, as a resource person. And I must tell you, there are 170 registered participants, and on an average, we had only around 90%, 90 in attendance. But I think this is the final day, so probably the law of DMU might have operated. I'm sure that many more participants will join you in a couple of minutes, sir. And I now invite you to facilitate today's session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nagarajan and Gopal Swami, for your brief introduction. Indeed, it is very pleasure for me to participate and discuss with the participants, those who are interested much in the FinTech as well as the blockchain technology. Give me a moment, I can share my screen, then we can go. Hope my screen is visible to you, and
yes,
my
sir.
voice is audible.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Right. The thing settled well. Yeah. Good morning, participants. It is a very good day, the day of Friday. I am appreciating you people that you people are interested in blockchain, which is an emerging technology which we can do a lot, especially in the financial banking sector. So when I said emerging technology, it is having strong potential to seriously alter mode of financial and non-financial transactions around the globe. This is because of its key principle and the disruptive nature of the underlying architecture. The architecture offers a concept, right? The architecture offers a concept which embraces new technological development and a shift of transaction power from one to many or from central concept to distributed platform. I am sure the experts delivered in the past 4 days are given elaborate about this blockchain technology, but still blockchain is a growing list of record called blocks that are linked together using cryptography. Each block is like a page of ledger or record book containing a hash pointer as a link to previous block, timestamp, and transaction data. So that's what I told you. People may familiar with the past 4 days lectures, but still the hash is a function that uses deterministic algorithm to convert input data into encrypted output of a fixed length by a hashing pairwise, a form of Merkle tree, right? So I hope you can recollect the term Merkle tree from the yesterday's speaker. I think Anub also mentioned. After that, Anub, one more expert also mentioned about this Merkle tree. So the technology comprises a network of databases that are spread across multiple peer-to-peer nodes called workers, synchronized to function such that focuses on providing financial services to both financial and non-financial institutions in order to improve efficiency and transparency, as well as reducing the transaction cost, right? So the technology is applied to any form of digital asset. That digital asset, transactions, exchanges that is done online or via the internet. So blockchain can be applied in cryptocurrency, distributed storage, smart contract, smart properties, online real-time purchasing, whatnot. So when we talk about this blockchain, it required some key components. Definitely it required some sender, some receiver, some minerals or miners, then the protocol, blockchain protocol, right? So in this particular session, we may go for discussing some positive thoughts, some positive areas which we can implement in the banking sector. When we say banking sector, definitely there is a need of looking many activities. So when we go in depth of this particular area, right, I want to say an example. I assumed myself that most of the participants familiar with the technology available in the latest iPhone mobiles, maybe Apple 10 onwards. If you are having an experience of accessing Apple 10 and more versions of mobile phone, right, through analyzing the image, right, that is called Face ID. That is the victory of machine learning technology as on that date. We are talking about the machine learning technology for many decades. But if you are asking which is the highest accurate technology that is applied in the Apple's Face ID, that is an example for making the participants to involve with more interest, I put. Of course, again, a recall of the past 4 days, we spoke a lot about records, of course, blocks. When we go for keeping as much as records, that will becomes under the category of collection of records as block. If it is having continuity, then we are calling that as a blockchain, right? When we say blockchain, what is blockchain? Why we required blockchain? When we say blockchain, how we are making the transactions, maybe in terms of data or block or chain, right? And the continuity from one to another. When we say block and it is mixed with or it is fixed with continuity, definitely there may be a change from one state to another state when it moves to one block to the next block. I hope participants can agree that. Similarly, when we talk about the workflow, we are expecting that it should not tampered. It should not accessed by any third party without permission. I am sure you people might discuss the permissioned, non-permissioned way of blocks. Similarly, the algorithms, because the algorithms are handled in multiple computers. When I say multiple computers, millions of computers. If you want to check something, then we need a huge amount of computers, because there is no network, there is no central storage facility, right? So the workflow is mandatory to know when we jump into this particular field, right? How we are utilizing? When we utilize this blockchain, definitely we required some parameters. I told we required some users, so in terms of sender, receiver, and there is a need of participation. There is a need of changing something from one state to another state. That's what we are saying asset transaction, right? So this blockchain technology is meant for exchanging some assets. If you are saying asset, it may be anything, but it should have some value. When we say it should have some value, of course, banking sector, real estate, inventory, EMR, whatnot. Second, when we want to transfer something, there is a need of participant or people, those who are involving in the transaction, right? Then, what we are going to transfer and how we are going to do. That's what the block is going to create. So that's what I told. If there is any change of state, then there will be a new block, right? Why we require the blockchain? In the case of banking itself, we are having some X party, some Y party, certain amount is going to transfer from one point to multiple point. For example, I put here as a seller as well as buyer. When I say seller, always the seller doesn't trust the buyer. When we say the buyer doesn't trust the seller. When the online portals came for selling some products, we, especially Indian people, started commenting that if you are paying money, either they may steal the credit card records, or the money paid will not get back as a product forever. Even some people had such kind of experience of receiving some stones instead of products from such and such supplier. The problem is trust, right? The buyer and seller must rely on the third party. We may recall the LC model. We used to give LC license to the abroad sellers as a bank guarantee, right? So we are requiring some third party trust. The trust, how we are going to make it among the people. So that will be a bigger question. Even still, right? Even till that is the problem for many of us, right? We are not able to identify, we are not able to accept, right? Or we are not able to rely a particular people. So in that scenario, with this scenario, I am going to discuss about the blockchain technology implementation, specifically in banking sector. I took almost 15 minutes so far. So I thought of getting response from you people also. I posted a link in your chat box to know about the participants. I was told about the coordinator. There will be around 170 plus participants registered, 90 plus are participating regularly, and as of now the board is showing 69 participants are available, right? But the major issue is I never knew that which category of people are participating in this adult FDP of this specified day, right?
Excuse me,
I
sir.
posted, yeah.
As far as the participants are concerned, majority of them are assistant professors and research
Yeah,
scholar, and
I
we have
understood.
a couple of them from the industry as well.
Yeah, I understood, Professor. I given a polling on the chat box. You click on the link and give the poll. At the same time, I will show the results too. It will take 2 to 3 seconds. Right. Either you click the link which I posted, no active question. It is showing as no active questions on the presentation. Yeah. Professor Sendil Kumar, Chandrasekharan Patil, Abdul Razak, Abhishek Anand, Prashad Joseph Chiran. Right. Okay. My intention for asking or raising this question, if you are looking the screen, you can understand well. Right. The polled number is so far 9. Among the 9 participants, 5 are from management background and 5 from computer background. I can give another 30 seconds. Please make it fast. And of course, one person from non-computer science area also participating. Probably most of the participants belongs to the management category. Let us wait for another 20 seconds. Then we can move to the further discussion. By the time I can set the remaining polls too. Okay. I think people are very energetic. So far, 20 participants, 20, right? Yeah, 20 participants completed. Among 69, we got 19 so far. Make it fast, friends. Maybe people are using the mobile phone, so it is difficult for them to shift from first one to the second one in a fast manner. Right. Almost 1/3 of the participants polled. I can do one thing. I can keep open of this poll till end of the day, and you can continue it after the session 2. Right. We can continue the discussion. Right. Next one. When we talk something about the trust, definitely there is some obstacles, right? The obstacles may be tampering or transparency related or confirmation related or double spending problem. When we do such kind of things, right, then the double spending is also possible even today, right? So that's what I told, the trust is major thing. So how, when we talk about the tampering, when we go for implementing this blockchain technology, right, when we use this hash, that is a mathematical algorithm that allows only one way of encryption. Of course, easy to compute, but maybe the previous speakers also told difficult to reverse. They are not saying it is not possible to reverse. It is difficult to reverse, right? So the immutability, that is crypto technology, that is the possible way for non-tampering. There will be no tampering, immutability will be there. Second one, transparency, right? Okay, there is an example I put for the tampering. Why it is not possible to tamper? It's a fundamental question which usually asked in management stream. If you are getting double of 1 rupee every day, at the end of month, how much you are having the money? Similarly, the encryptions also. Similarly, the electronic signatures too, right? So because of that reason, it is not possible for tampering. When we go to the transparency, the name itself mentioned as chain, blockchain. It is the ledger. When we say ledger, we can easily see the history of transaction, from where it is transacted, when it is transacted. Since already we discussed that it is difficult for making tampering, right? It cannot be altered. So the confidence level will go always high. That is distributed ledger of blockchain. Then the third, double spending, right? No need of going to make multiple occasions attempts. Maybe some of the participants had such kind of experience while transacting in the online. We may have done the transaction, but it is not reflected to us. However, if you are going blockchain, this kind of double spending problems are not there. It is a verified way. And the major thing, there is no central authority. So if you are not having the central authority, definitely we may find easiness when do such kind of transactions. When there is no central authority, we can improve the integrity, trust in the transaction itself, right? So what I want to say is this particular blockchain technology is in crypto technology, distributed ledger, verified way. There is no central authority, so that it can be utilized in banking in a higher way. So if you are talking about this value addition, right? Recordation or value exchange and smart contracts are the best possible examples to understand the things. Okay, Ashok Kumar sir, due to the college firewall, I am not able to connect the Mendy.com from computer science background. Okay, you can do it in your mobile phone by giving the passcode if possible, right? So when we talk about this blockchain, it is a reliable, difficult to hack record of transactions, and of who owns what is clear. It is based on the distributed ledger technology, which securely records information across a peer-to-peer network. We can say a database of transactions that is shared and synchronized across millions of computers, irrespective of locations, without any centralized control. Otherwise, we can say peer-to-peer network based on algorithmic verification as well as approval, right? So we can brief this in many ways, right? Next, when we talk about the distributed ledger, I hope you people heard a lot about this. Whether the distributed ledger is centralized or decentralized or distributed, how can we differentiate? I am sure you people know, so that I am not going to elaborate this. When we talk about the platform, it can be public, private, of course, the hybrid also available. When we talk about the platform, depending on the type of ledger, right, the platform will vary. To keep things simple, we can say that in public networks, anyone can validate, write, and read transactions, right? Whereas in private network, only invited members can validate, write, and read transactions. An example would be that validation and writing to the blockchain is invite only, but reading at least selected transactions is public, can be mentioned as hybrid. So here I posted some terms which are all mostly related with banking. Examples of public ledgers I given as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero. Similarly, for private, I given the Hyperledger Fabric, then Corda R3 as well as R3i. Dr. Suman, it is asked only stream, that is a single question. I may continue with two more pollings in the first session and two more additional polling in the second session. And finally, we can correlate all those things. That time you can understand the need for the questions, right? So we can go for such kind of public and permissionless blockchain protocols, which are designed on the assumption that everybody is potentially corrupt, and that the least common denominator is money, right? The crypto economic mechanisms allow for the creation of a new type of global governance tool steered by economic incentives tied to the creation of the native token. The role of the native token is to encourage a disparate group of people who do not know or trust each other to organize themselves around the purpose of specific blockchain or similar public ledger without need of centralized institutions, right? In the second case, I hope you can understand by looking the name itself. Since it is a private, it can be given permission to only few people who are eligible to access it, right? There is a term related with this, ISO 222, right? Is a multi-part international standard prepared by ISO. It can be mentioned like this: Universal Financial Industry Message Scheme. This ISO 222 prepared by ISO Technical Committee, which is called TC68 Financial Services. Actually, it describes a common platform for the development of messages using a modeling methodology to capture in a syntax independent way financial business areas, business transactions, and associated messages flows. I don't know how many of you people are aware about this one. Let us come to my topic. I am here to talk about the blockchain technology in banking. You might hear about the cross-border payment by the bank Ripple. Of course, throughout the globe, 38 of the largest banks, right, are using this Ripple. For example, the American Express, Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC, Barclays, Bank of England, Banco Santander, right? So this Ripple's cross-border payment technology has been adopted by more than 250 financial institutions in over 50 countries as on the date, including the international payment giant like MoneyGram. So MoneyGram is using this Ripple platform, and it is doing cross-border transactions. That's what the payment made in another country is reaching us within no time. However, many banks and partners have announced long-term plans to switch into the new technology. So when you say 250 financial institutions in over 50 countries is not a big number, right? So this particular Ripple is having their own currency, which is called as XRP. Is a decentralized cryptocurrency native to the Ripple net payment platform. Right. This is one example I thought of sharing with you. Second one, we can talk about the Quorum. Being a management person, you people might know the JP Morgan well. JP Morgan built the Quorum blockchain internally using the Ethereum network. Right? Ethereum is a public one, right? In there, the JP Morgan built this particular blockchain named as Quorum, right? Of course, the Ethereum network is the software that underpins Ether. That currency name is Ether, one of the most well-known cryptocurrency. I think 2 speakers mentioned about this Ether cryptocurrency too in the past 4 days. Quorum, which will remain open source, is being used by the bank to run the interbank information network, a payments network that involves again more than 300 banks as on the date. So Quorum is an enterprise blockchain platform. It is fork of the public Ethereum client Geth with several protocol level enhancements to support business needs, right? This is one of the example for permissioned blockchain, right? You might hear from other speakers, permissioned and permissionless. This is an example for permissioned blockchain. This Quorum platform is developed by this JP Morgan and using the blockchain technology to process private transactions, right? By design, blockchain enables multiple participants to view the entire life cycle of a digital ledger. Again, it is JPM is coin. JPM coin is a planned dollar backed by cryptocurrency, right? This is announced in the year of February 2019 as an institution-to-institution service, right? So these are 2 examples which I can state the blockchain technology implemented successfully and currently running in reasonably good number of banking institutions, right? Then, again, the basic funda term, FinTech. If you are talking about the FinTech term, right? The abbreviation is financial technology. The modern technologies used by businesses that produce or that provide automated and improved financial service. When we say automated or improved, definitely it will relate with finance, relate with time, relate with human power, right? So when we talk about the banking, the fast and innovative progress such as mobile payments, right, change the way we manage our finances for the past few years. Especially, millions of people are expecting money transfer, lending, loan management, investing some X and Y, right, must made within no time, that too without visiting a bank or without getting assistance of a third party, right? So for that purpose, we are having such kind of system. I am sure you might heard about the Payball. The Payball is a fintech company, right? Any company which integrates the financial services with the technology is considered as a fintech company that we can accept. But among other things, Payball provides the services of money transaction and online payment, right? They are not doing any other thing. That's what Payball is called as fintech company, right? So for a recall, I made this fintech revolution, right? See, this technology has always played a key role, right, in financial sector. From which point onwards can we talk about fintech? Any idea? Uh, we can say, I think a person from a startup in Chennai, day for yesterday, second session mentioned about this fintech 1, 2, 3, right? Various evaluation of fintech. He just mentioned about the evolution of fintech in version 1, 2, 3, and 3.5, and along with the criteria of geography, key elements, shift origin, right? I hope there is no need of explaining this again. So when we talk about this fintech, it is giving us the cost reduction, it is giving more efficiency, it is building lot of relationship, and it is facilitating regulatory compliance, security, right? Okay, Silpa Agarkar, I think. Okay. Thank you, Nagarajan. So we are getting lot of offerings from this fintech, and the only question is how we are effectively going to utilize it. That will be the question for all the people. When we look about the latest developments in fintech, right? When we say latest developments, right, there are huge. Actually, this started in the year of 1990s, right? When the internet and e-commerce business model across, and in the following decade, banking, right? I mean, most of the parts was already completed, digitized. If you are talking about 1990s, it is like that. But when the global financial crisis came in the year 2008, right? Many people lost their trust in traditional banking system. Of course, security, transparency, also people lost their trust because of several issues. So this shifting mindset and the technology of cloud computing, again I am saying another new term, cloud computing, made it possible to invent new customized solutions and standard procedures, such as providing access to banking profile, payment, or transfer of money, right, with automatically converted currencies, right, etc. So due to regulation and high expectations on customer side, this fintech company's goal is set like to create services and implementations with the long-term potential. So if you are talking about the latest developments in the fintech, right? The screen is showing to you people like 50 billion invested in each year of fintech, right? And I given n number of things that you can go through it, no need of briefing again those things, right? When we talk about the benefits, right? I can say this fintech enhance the relation directly with customers through the launch of crowdfunding platforms, right? It allows a small business, entrepreneur, charities, or even artists to receive support without raising money from conventional investors. Second thing we can say, social change is another chief promise that many fintech firms, especially in the global south, aim to reach by taking into account demographic and social needs. People in developing nations are now granted access to microfinance and digital lending platforms. If you are looking the regions in Africa, Asia, specifically India, right? Large number of people who were disadvantaged by the traditional banks are now enabled to use payment services. And people are coming up in a bigger number. FinTech also lead to disruption of the insurance industry that we will discuss in the second session, right? I hope you might heard about robo advising also from one of the past speakers. That will also we will discuss. When we talk about the innovation, right? We are having n number, right? It is going little fast, right? So when we talk about this in innovation, this FinTech is the technology and innovative that is aiming to compete the traditional financial methods in the delivery of financial services. So we are having n number of innovation areas, right? I listed n number here: financial inclusion, payment, insurtech, and of course on the left side I mentioned AI and robotics, cloud technology, blockchain technology, cyber security, regitech and agitech, right? So our FDP is meant for blockchain technology, of course, without involving, right, AI and robotics, without involving cloud technology, without involving cyber security, without involving edutech, right? We may not be able to fulfill the right side items like financial inclusion, payment, insurtech, wealth tech, capital tech, or open banking, right? These are all interrelated, but the FDP is focusing on the blockchain technology, which means we are not supposed to leave the remaining things too. Those things also required for the effective implementation of this technology, right? Next one. What is the characteristics? Please think blockchain is a database technology, not an industry. It can be used to create and track digital representations of any type of asset, item, or even idea. It will impact a variety of industries, including social media, financial service, healthcare, retail, gaming, energy, whatnot. To recognize the broad array of assets, right? To recognize the broad array of assets and other items which can be digitized in the blockchain, including tangible assets. When I say tangible assets, the assets like gold, right? Any item we can register here. Second, it is not a financial services technology. See, the regulatory structures that are implemented must acknowledge that characteristic. Regulation solely by financial regulators is short-sighted and will undermine its value. Third one I mentioned about living in a world of digital representations. We can say like this online shopping is a prominent example for this particular head. Say retailers use databases to give us digital versions of goods to look at on the web while we decide our preference, right? And the fourth one I mentioned as strengths lie in transparency, immutability, and security. When we say transparency, that is enabling the identical visibility of ledger, right? Identical visibility of not only ledger, the information in the ledger across all the users, provided if it is a public platform. Which means if you are having the rights to access, you can see. Whoever is having right can see. So it can be limited with minimum people or maximum people or all the people. It can be private or public or hybrid mode. And the last one I mentioned as solving the double spend problem. Already I mentioned in the previous slide. I hope you might remember or recall it, because some occasions we are making a double payment for purchasing a single item. If you are doing through blockchain, it can be avoided very easily, right? So this was the blockchain characteristics. If you are going the component wise, platform or services, if you are going the component, I am having some examples. The components may be like this: Ethereum, Hyperledger Fabric, Sawtooth, or Hash Graph, right? I made here some Alibaba, IBM, etc. things, right? That's what under the term, right? Service, right? On the next, if you are looking at in terms of size, it can be large enterprises or SMEs, small medium enterprises. For example, we can talk about this Boyd Trust and Trust SQL, right? These are the best example for the organization size in the small medium enterprises level. By provider, it can be application and middleware, and the last one infrastructure, right? If you are talking about banking alone, it is application oriented. If you are talking about the IBM, that will come as an infrastructure level, right? If you are talking private, public, hybrid types, already we discussed. When we talk about application, right? Here it is important for the participants to look it. We can apply this technology in everywhere, but the banking and financing is in the top level as on the date, right? So that's what we gathered here to talk about the blockchain banking application, right? So as per the Frank Castle, Vice Chair of Audit KPMG, he made a statement for the audit of the future, right? Being a management background participant, you might hear already, but still I want to put it into your view. So the second poll question I posted on the chat box: the blockchain in banking financial sector, right? BFSI market size is forecast to reach, right, billion by 2025, growing at a CAGR of 74% from 2020 to 2025. Now people may realize it is a related question. Of course, one of the previous speaker mentioned this, so that I thought of putting into my discussion to recall this. Please don't go and Google the question for getting the answer. This is not university examination. You just answer it at the first site itself. So what is the forecasting of blockchain in BFSI market in terms of size forecasting to reach by the year of 2025? So for 7 participants polled, and 4 made us 232 billion, and 5 made 232, and 3 made 123, and none of them chosen 23 billion. Okay, everybody is having more ambitious, maybe because of that people are choosing the highest numbers. Is it like that? Or people are feeling that the blockchain is having right? Here, the question itself, I given a clue that 74% from 2020 to 2025, right? I can give 20 seconds time. By the time I can have a glass of water. Come on, guys. Only 11 people participated. What is the previous one? Previous one polled by 41 participants. What happened? If you are not able to click the link, you please go to mendy.com by using the code 8175234. Give your poll. Okay, totally 13 participants. Let me give another 20 seconds. Please make it fast. I hope Silpa Harkar got the answer for Hyperledger Fabric. It comes under a private category, that too for banking, which she asked in my previous FDP, happened in a month back. Okay, I can do one thing. I can keep open up this poll also till end of the day. The participants can poll it. We can continue because I have only another 40 minutes time period to complete the morning first session, right? I think the answer as of now, the poll status is like this: four participants polled 23, and 9 participants guessed as 232 billion US dollar, and 5 made us 123 US billion dollar. Right. Next. So how the blockchain is making or implementing in the sector of banking, right? Interbank transaction, remittance, smart contract enforcement, crypto banking, record sharing and storage, clearing and settlement, loan syndication, right? Is there anything else other than the mentioned here? Any participants? How the blockchain is applied into the banking sector? Which are all the areas we may able to implement it? Or else, still we are having regulatory, KYC, regulatory reporting, trade finance, data security, increasing transparency, serving the unbanked. The last term mentioned by again the previous speakers in the previous sessions. So these many areas are identified the top requirement in banking as of now, right? When we go these things, right, we must talk little bit about the wealth management. Each day we hear about blockchain, right, and its ability to transform the banking industry. Maybe many researchers focus on retail banking and asset management. Of course, wealth managers should carefully, right, develop this particular technology to break through the existing problems. When we say, right, how it is going to impact in banking models or in their business model, right? When we say wealth management, definitely we may discuss a lot about real-time settlement models. We may discuss about the smart contract, right? We may discuss about automated investment vehicles. So I am sure few of you are well known about this wealth management style. When we talk about the real-time settlement, right? The real-time settlement models could transform the execution of financial transactions with positive impacts on transaction cost, right? Counterpartly risk and capital availability. This, however, will also threaten transaction fees as one of the main sources of income in traditional wealth management. Second, we can say the data privacy protection or risk and financial history or and KYC, investment profile prepositions, right? These could become less costly and much simpler with smart contract. This is mentioned here as single point of truth, spot. This would allow for increasing efficiency in terms of exchanging information and thus more reliable client interactions. So conversely, blockchain would also facilitate, right? Faster client onboarding and provider switching. So it is reducing, right, client loyalty and barriers to change wealth management service provider. And the third one I mentioned as next generation service. In wealth management, digital investment portfolios based on baskets of cryptocurrencies could address the importance of asset allocation and the need of diversification, right? Offering alternative investment opportunities. In addition, new autonomous financial instruments and automated investment vehicles, right, built on smart contracts. I will show the video later. Could replace traditional wealth management functions such as portfolio management, client advisory, right, with the benefit of leaner and more efficient process. Such new technologies will, however, also threaten additional sources of income. So this is one way I want to put in the eyes of participants in terms of wealth management. So this is what I told when we discuss about the real-time settlements, the transaction card, counterparty risk, capital availability. At the same time, when we talk about the smart contract, data privacy protection, risk financial history, know your customer, investment portfolio. When we talk about the next gen, digital investment, autonomous financial instrument, automated investment vehicle, of course, built on smart contract, right? You might hear about this particular UBS. This is the best example, right? This particular UBS is experimenting with the distributed ledger technology as on the date, right? Based trade finance system for rationalizing import-export transactions at the global level. You might hear about this bank. Moreover, a consortium comprising SIX, Swisscom, Zurich Cantonal Bank, right, is attempting to redesign the process for settling over the counter. Management people may know well OTC, right? OTC equities, with the aid of this particular blockchain technology. Specifically, this Ethereum, Ripple, digital asset holding, and Clearmatrix have, of course, very active in the development of blockchain-based applications. They are focused in the transactions of import-export in a global level. Maybe some of you are having witness of execution of these things. Maybe, right? Next, we can go for a case study. I told about this wealth management system. I told three major sectors in the wealth management system too, right? Hope you people can recollect what I said in the wealth management system. So we are having a smart contract, right? In this wealth management system, if you are implement blockchain, that will allow firms to store a golden copy of reference data in a decentralized manner on a permissioned blockchain. I hope decentralization is a common term when and where we use the blockchain technology. So people won't again ask why it is in decentralized manner, right? The major point is permissioned blockchain. It is having permission. That is, only the approved list of systems have permission to make change. It is not public, right? In a blockchain environment, an organization can run on two different chains. One is interacting with the external bodies like consortia, and another one internal to the particular company. right? Client book building is a critical aspect of wealth management business, of course, management people knows. It enables client advisors to understand the client needs, bring in new business opportunities, and enhance their relationship with existing clients, right? If you are looking the example, once clients are onboarded, we are supposed to set their portfolios, right? That is, smart contracts on blockchain network can actively monitor the client. This smart contract will trigger if there is any change in asset allocation within the particular portfolio or the bulk risk for a single asset class. So in this particular thing, the smart contract executed if any deviation occurs in asset allocation or an issue's concentration, right? A notification will send. Notification received by client advisor workbench, right? Then the particular notification received by client, here the things comes artificial intelligence and other technologies. Because the notification received by client will be internet banking or mobile banking platform which is connected with IoT device, right? Then the client or client advisor, in the screen it is mentioned number 2 or number 3. The client or client advisor will respond to the trigger because the smart contract is getting altered now. That alteration note will be sent to advisor as well as the client. As soon as they receive such a trigger, they are supposed to respond it. Here the robo advisory also coming. If the client is not responding, the client is not having time to respond, or the client is given charge to the robo advisor to take decision, right? So that the client or client advisor response triggers smart contract to rebalance port and the transaction is broadcasted to blockchain network. That to be approved by authority nodes. That is called accounting and compliance node. That is mentioned in the slide as number 4. Right? Then the smart contracts on approval nodes do the validation check before rebalancing the portfolio. Once you change, it cannot be reverted back. It is difficult to revert back. So the nodes, the compliance nodes must validate the change. It has to rebalance the portfolio only after validation. So the validated data is written on compliance system for external reporting. When we say external reporting, that is consortium blockchain, and also broadcast back to other peer nodes, that is internal. I told you there will be 2 mechanisms, external as well as internal. So it has to be reported to consortium, that is external reporting, and it has to be communicated back to other peer nodes, that will be internal mechanism. Why? They have to update their database. Once it validated, it will be added into the ledger that is mentioned in the slide as number 6. Once it validated, it will be broadcasted back to other members, right? Who are all in the blockchain will be broadcasted. That is mentioned in the point number 7. So this is the way when we implement blockchain, in wealth management system, things will happen, right? So here the positive things. When and where the smart contract get alteration, immediately we are getting notified. Not only the customer, the client advisor too. When and where they given response, it will be broadcasted to the nodes, authority nodes. It will validate and it will alter. Once it alter, the additional block will be created. Once the additional block created, it will be added into the chain. Then it will be communicated to the peers who are all available in the network. So here, once you added a new block, that will ensure more amount of network security, data security, right? So it is very simple to brief it, but when we go for implementing in terms of a real manner, we may find difficulty at first time, right? Over the period of time, it will be easy for us, it will be automated. Hope in future, these automations will be also taken place by the robo-advisors, right? So this is the one best example of banking sector. Second one, I can talk about the KYC and the client working, client on board, right? So when we say client on board or KYC, right? Again, we may think of many ways, right? So when the client advisor, right? When we want to make a client to come into the board, the client advisor work is numerous. So the client advisor usually input data in terms of various fields. This client onboarding attributes like KYC attributes, risk tolerances, client asset knowledge or class, right? Those things, those inputs will be done by the client advisor. The client suitability data attribute at product and portfolio level. Or we can say client classification attribute like retail or eligible counterparty, etc. also we can define. So anyhow, the advisor will give input data that will be goes to nodes, right, to take and check the mechanism. Once it get approved, then the data will be sent to the node, right, with approving authority on blockchain, which will be the KYC compliance and the regulating report system. Once it goes, that is the point 3, right? Data is sent to node with the approving authority on blockchain, right? When it goes, right, then where we are making the smart contract. The smart contract on approval node will be established on the approval node, right? Will do the validation checks as per the onboarding process. So here, I hope one of the past speaker mentioned or taken discussion about machine learning algorithm, right? So the machine learning, whatever we fed algorithm, right? Based on the algorithm only it will validate. Sometimes people may get irritated of receiving replies from such kind of automated systems. It all depends upon the data and the trained data model. Hope you may recollect the first slide which I showed in my session, the triumph of machine learning algorithm, Apple iPhone's Face ID. The beauty of Apple iPhone's Face ID is, even after 40 years, it will identify the authentic person correctly and accurately. The reason behind, when and where we access the Apple iPhone Face ID, it will update the data. It will not update the data alone, it will update the model also. And the model also get trained continuously. Because of that, over the period of time, if any changes occurs in your facial expressions, will be easily identified by that algorithms, right? So that we are supposed to formulate such kind of algorithms to enable us or enable the machine as to imitate the human behavior. That's what we are saying as artificial intelligence. Right. Come to this point, once it goes to the blockchain, it will establish the smart contract on approval node by validating checks. Then comes, once it validated, usual routine process, it will add a block. Once it added the block, that is number 5, right? Once it added block, definitely it will goes to public. So this is the procedure. Since the FDP is intended to brief this technology, we are not having any hands-on training in this particular aspect, right? For that, you have to be thorough in the basic fundamentals, right? And possible of creating small blocks, right? Next one, okay. Next one. You might heard about this person, Farad Esram, who mentioned everything will be tokenized and connected by blockchain one day, right? It is connected with the banking only. I am sure within one more decade, right, our activity of banking will be entirely in a different way, right? Even without much intervention of human, and I can say zero errors, right? That too 24/7 into 365 across the borders. When we say across the borders, it is little difficult for us to transact money from one country to another country within no time. But it will happen when we go for implementing this blockchain technology. Of course, some bank institutions like MoneyGram, right, are all already executed this one. Similarly, we can go for discussing about wealth management, trade booking, settlements, right? Since the time is very less, I am not going to discuss much things, right? The similar way, if you are knowing about the trade booking and settlements, you can easily understand the remaining concepts. And the robo advisory, right? You might heard about the robo advisory, or you might studied, or you might teach these things. But this can also be in a huge way upcoming in the bank sector. This specifically in the investment arena. Of course, we have to include artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? This robo advisors. But this blockchain technology is mother of all cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrencies are based on blockchain technology, but robo advisors are all based on AI and machine learning, right? So since the time is very less, I am not going to talk much things, right? So again, if you are looking the working of robo advisory, we can go for step 1, step 2, or 3 like this. I can share this PPT to the participants. Similarly, when we go for talking about investments, tax and fees, there are several segments. This can also go along with the blockchain in the coming days. When we talk about the positive and negatives, we can say that knowledge, time, strategy, and in the negative say we can say robo advisors are not at all talking like a human, and it is not having as much as options because it is programmed. It is the machine learning algorithms are set pretty early, right? And it won't act according to the situation. For example, I can say if you are giving the sanction or permission to the robo advisor to invest our money into the stock market, right? According to the market status, the robo advisor will choose some stock to get invest. It won't go for looking that the market is going down, so I should not do, or the market is going very up, so I should not go for doing the short-term business. Of course, multiple accounts is possible because again there is a small weaknesses in those areas, right? So if you are looking the best robo advisors as per this month, it is estimated like this. It is analyzed like this: Betterment, Wealthfront, Sophie, Elivest, Bloom, right? And it is having different type of commissions, different type of promotions, and the minimum amount balance, etc. things. Of course, these are all listed and identified as the topmost robo advisors of this particular December 2020, right? And the settlement analysis I am not going to discuss, right? The reason for settlement analysis from the picture itself, you can understand easily. That much complicated one, because we are not going to get the things in a sequential manner, right? When we go for settlement analysis, sentiment analysis, we are supposed to do these things: fine grained sentiment analysis, emotion detection, aspect based sentiment analysis, or multilingual sentiment analysis, right? And benefits, some benefits are there, like sorting data at scale, real time analysis, consistent criteria, etc. things. Of course, we are having rule based and automatic hybrid ways. And when we go for approaching this sentiment analysis, then we have to think of future extraction from text, right? That's what we are saying, that the NLP, classification of algorithms, training and predictions. Of course, when we go for talking about the sentiment analysis, we must know. Okay, I will answer Senthil Kumar. What is the appropriate tool for? Okay, uh, so like that, we may have several type of algorithms, right? Algorithms as well as approaches we can go for doing. See, when we talk about this classification algorithms, right? This classification, we are having 3 different type of algorithms. That is the answer for Senthil Kumar I am talking, right? We are having several types of algorithms. Algorithms can be classified: supervised algorithm, unsupervised algorithm, reinforcement algorithm. Again, we can classify the supervised and unsupervised and reinforced algorithms in several ways. There we are having this regression, right? A lot of several algorithms are there. There we can go for analyzing these things. Then, if you are looking the landscape of blockchain, it is I can say it is in everywhere. It is not limited to some areas, right? So we can dream, create, design and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes place to make the dream reality, as Walt Disney mentioned, right? Since the time is less, I am not going for the third poll. We can continue in the next session if required, right? These things I can cover in the second sessions. So these are few references which I referred for this first session topic. We can go for breaking of 10 or 15 minutes, then we can come back to the second session. I will try to complete the second session within 1 hour, then we can offer 30 minutes for the question and answer session, right? So these are the few references which we made for this particular first session. So thank you for your patient listening. Over to the coordinator.
Thank you, sir. And we shall resume the session after 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, now my watch is 11:25. We can 25, 30, 40. 11:40 we can.
Yeah, 11:40. By 11:40 we shall resume the session.
Okay, thank you. Bye.